Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So let's start.
Good afternoon, sir.
So file and executions, it was going, and yeah, files and exceptions. So try and accept हो गया था क्या? Remember? Try accept have we done this concept? इसमें कितना
Yes,
हुआ
sir,
था?
you had started it.
ट्राई एक्सेप्ट चलो एक बार रिवाइज कर लेते हैं देन इसको फिनिश करेंगे ये कुछ है नहीं ट्राई एक्सेप्ट इज द लास्ट कॉन्सेप्ट इन दिस चैप्टर ठीक है ये जो चैप्टर नंबर 9 है फाइल्स एंड एक्सेप्शंस सो इसमें लास्ट कॉन्सेप्ट है ट्राई एंड एक्सेप्ट तो लाइक ट्राई में क्या होता है कि इफ़ यू फाइंड समथिंग एरर इन ट्राई सो यू डोंट वांट दैट योर प्रोग्राम शुड टर्मिनेट abruptly so you want something to print है ना instead of giving error so you write in except so for example here yes so this was a concept try and accept from here so you can see here like exceptions that would result in abrupt termination of the program execution are known as unhandled exceptions okay and to prevent a program from terminating abruptly when an exception is raised. So we use try except clause. Try block comprises statements that have the potential to raise an exception. Okay, so in try block, you may expect something error can occur and some exception can be raised. So to prevent the program to terminate abruptly, you will do what? So except block so again, I'm reading. Try block comprises statement that have the potential to raise an exception, and except block describes the action to be taken when an exception is raised. Okay. So in except block, you'll write what action would like to take. So you don't want your program to terminate or to give error or exception. So in except block, you will write the action to be taken if try block has some exception. So we can also specify a finally block. So there is a third block finally. So this is a keyword. This will be a keyword. Try, except, and finally. These are keyword block in try except clause, which is executed irrespective of whether an exception is raised or not. So in try block, if exception is raised or not, finally will always be executed. So okay, again it is repeating. Try block means statements having potential to raise an exception. In except block, action to be performed when exception is raised, and finally block executed irrespective of whether exception is raised or not. So for example, here is example. So like def main and here marks is given 110. Try if marks is less than 0 or marks is more than 100. So if marks is less than 0 or 100, raise value error. So we are raising value error. We are writing the code. So it will raise value error and that error due to marks out of range. So value error and except. So if a value error occurs, this exception is raised. So what you will do? It pass means it will go to next line, right? We execute next line and finally print by and print this. So this two line will be printed. So if you run this program, so it will give you output what? So can anyone tell me what will be the output of this program? Marks we have given 110. So like
Sir, error.
error.
So that value error, the print try statement.
It will print what? So look here. Yes. So what do you think? What it will print if I run the program? So what it will print? Output is given here. Yeah. So
So
marks.
marks out of range and by.
So actually, it will not print that. It will print this by and program continues after handling exception. So finally will be executed anyway, whether exception is raised or not. And in exception, just these two line will be printed by this by an program continue after handling exception. So this is a value error. We have written the reason behind that. If you remove this line, it will not create problem. So I have the program. I will show you. Chapter 9. Okay, let's check. So this is the same thing what I was writing there. Okay, so this program you can see the same thing here. So I said here you write marks out of it will not matter. So you are writing like marks out of range. You are giving the reason actually. Okay, so see marks we have given 111. Okay, try if marks is less than 0 or marks is more than 100. Okay, so raise value error and this will not be printed I think. So except if value error is raised like it is out of range, then in that case it will print invalid inputs. So in the ppt they have written pass, so I have removed pass. I have written here invalid inputs. Now if I run the program you can see the output. So here you may give one more like ppt they give program executed after handling exception. Okay, so if I run the program, so what will happen? See, it is saying if marks is less than 0 or more than 100, raise value error. So value error will be raised, and in case value error is raised, then it will print this thing. So except gives the action to be taken in case of exception is raised. So we have given marks 111, so it is out of range. So it will print invalid inputs, and this block will be executed anyway whether exception is raised or not. So if I run the program, so what will be the output? Yes, anyone tell? Then I will run and check whether you are right or not. So if I run the program, this is the old output. Okay, so I have changed something here. So this is old output. So what will be the new output if I run the program?
So by and program executed after handling exceptions.
Only that? Don't you think this will be printed?
So including that.
Yes, invalid inputs because marks we have taken 111, so that is out of range. So if this is happening, we are raising this exception, and except handles the exceptions actually. Except block handles
Yes, sir.
exceptions. So that way this will also be printed. So let me run it. So check invalid inputs because we have taken the marks out of range. That's why. Okay. Now suppose I give it 98. Okay. So check. Now I'm changing the input. So marks I'm giving 98. If marks is less than 0 or marks is more than 100. So if condition is false here, for this input, if condition is false, so R marks is not less than 0 or not more than 100. So value error will not be raised. So value error will not be raised, then except block will do nothing. So it will not be executed. Except block will be executed only if the exception is raised. So here this will not print. So now if I run the program, so what do you expect the output? Anyone tell? Here Yeah, anyone tell what do you expect the output? Same output or something else?
So only buy and program executed after
सर
handling
वो
Right.
exception.
एक्सेप्ट वाला हट जाएगा.
Yes. So ये है ना, this part will not be executed because value error is not raised here. So except block will not be executed. So only this part will be executed here. Okay, so check here. So only this part will be executed. Okay. So same thing as the PPT. So this was thing. So instead of pass, I have done. So pass will do what? Pass goes to the next line and this will be executed. So I changed that. Okay. So here is the output for the last program by and this program continue after ending exception. Yeah. So this thing. Now next we have this. You can also run the program. So what will happen? See this def main. So come here. Try f open. The name of the file is temporary file and in read mode. So except IO error, print problem with input output and print program continues smoothly beyond try except block. So check here, a try block contains this. So if temporary file, this file is not found. Okay, suppose this file already does not exist. So you already know that in read mode, it will give you error and that error is actually IO error. IO error. So like if this file is not found, so it will raise an exception. An exception will be handled by except block. So in case of exception is raised, it will instead of giving error, it will print this line. So it will print problem with input output. And this will be executed by the way because out of the this is out of except block. This is out of except block. Okay. So it will be executed anyway. This is same like finally we have removed, but you write finally or directly you do, so it will be printed. So if you run this program and this temporary file is not found, in that case output will be problem with input output this line and this line. This will be the output. In case of this file is found, so then this statement will be like it will not raise exception and then only this will be printed in that case if file is found. Okay, so this is given when file is not found. So output of a program is this when this temporary file is not found. Okay, here you can see. So what I have done, check. Same program is here. Try open temporary file. This I think temporary file is not here. So do you have anything like temporary file? Yeah, here is this is temporary file is here, right? So this file is created here and temporary file inside. So actually it searches at the location where your program is saved. So so since a temporary file is found, okay, so you are opening the file in read mode, a temporary file is found, so exception is not raised. Exception is not raised. In that case, except block will not be executed and only this part is executed. So see if I remove that or I change the name. Okay, so let me make it file one. Okay, temporary file one, I change the name. So now tell me what do you expect the output in this case? So what will be the output? No one can guess. So see this file is not inside directly here. I don't have this temporary file was there, so I named the temporary file one. So temporary file one is not available here. So in that case it will do what? It will print this because error will be exception will be raised here. So due to exception, except part will be executed and this will problem with input output and error type of error will be printed. So you may remove this line if you don't want to. You may remove this. Na? So it will actually print IO the IO error. You can if you don't want that you can remove it. So first let me run. See here. Problem with input output this line and then this you are printing this part. So this part is here. Okay, so sys dot execution information, so it will give you why you are getting that error, what type of error you're getting, so it will tell you that. And then this, if you remove this line, so like you don't want, you want to only print that, so it will print like that. So due to this, you are getting all this thing. So it is telling na program execution faces which type of exception. You may remove this also. So in that case, check this. No, so this file is not found in read mode, so it will raise an error, and that error will be handled by this except block, and this will print this line. So this line, and this will be printed anyway. This one, because this is out of this is out of try and except block. This is outside. Okay. Now, so this program is saying it will print like problem with input output if file is not found, and this program continues smoothly beyond try except block. So this is the output. Now one more program you have. So theory is finished, just you have few examples, so we'll discuss examples. So theory is only till try except. So like again here, price we are defining, input will ask the user, weight will ask the user. I think this we have done in class, right? These all things. So both actually we are asking price and weight as string, right? Then try if price is equal to null string, so you enter nothing. Okay, then means price is none. So try price you are converting into float form, and if exception is raised, suppose here value error, then it will print this thing, invalid input value error. If weight you enter nothing, so weight is none. And now try block do what? So try weight is float, we are converting to float, except if something, suppose weight cannot be converted into float, in that case it will raise value error, and then it will print this. Instead of giving error exception, it will print this line. So you are asserting checking whether price is more than equal to 0, weight is more than equal to 0, result is price upon weight. So you are dividing, you are finding price per unit weight. Okay, so except type error, if type error occurs here, so you print this. If zero division error occurs, so these are exceptions actually, and you know already error are of two type, one is syntax error, other exceptions. So if zero division error occurs, it will print this line. Except will print string form of sys dot execution information, like what type of exception you are getting, if you print that. And else, if exception is not raised, in that case it will print price per unit weight and result. So result was price upon weight, so it will print your price upon weight. Okay, so check here, different outputs are given in case of different inputs. So like when you enter price of 20, the price you enter 20, weight you enter 0, so you already know it will print invalid input, zero division error. Okay, so it will print due to this, it will print this one. Okay, and enter price of, if you write minus 20 0, so then assert condition will fail, right? Assert condition was that price should be more than 0, weight should be more than equal to 0, so assert condition will fail, and in that case this will be executed. So class assertion error. If price minus 20 and 10, again assert condition will fail because price and weight both must be more than equal to 0. If you enter price as 20, if you enter nothing in place of weight, so it will give you this invalid input value error, this way, if you don't enter anything. Yeah, weight if you don't write, so here it will do that, this will be executed. Okay, so in different case you can execute it. So only examples we have, like you can see here, this program is here. Yeah, so same program is here, you can check. So they will ask you the price of the item. Suppose I give 200, and they ask you weight of the item. Suppose 10. So what will be the output? So I guess I should ask the name now. Okay. So read the program and tell the output. So who will tell? This is section L. Okay. Alexander, are you here? Sahil, Shreya, Anu. Alexander. So tell me the output here. Output of this program. So read the program and inputs I'm giving price as 200, weight as 10. So if I run enter it, so what will be the output here? You can write in chat also. If you don't want to speak then. Yes, Anuja. Ujjwal. Anas. So this is attendance also. So I'm marking absent for those who are not speaking.
Yes, sir.
Who is this? Ujjwal. Yes, Ujjwal. Tell me the output.
Ujjwal.
So what is the output if I enter it?
Sir, give me 2 minutes.
Yes, yes.
Sir, 20.
Yes, correct. If I enter it, so it will give you 20. Yeah. So our answer is 20. Okay. So we were asking result. Result is price upon weight. Okay. So since 210, these are valid inputs, so there will not be any exception. So in case of you don't get any exception, this will be executed. Price per unit weight and result will be printed. Okay. So let me run once more. So like if I give 200 and here if I give 0. So yes, next. Anas Murad, are you here?
तो जीरो आना चाहिए.
आउटपुट क्या होगा? डू यू थिंक जीरो? और
शायद से सर. शायद से
यहाँ
जीरो.
देखो. सो 200 को जीरो से डिवाइड करेंगे तो क्या होता है? इस तरह का एरर आता है. एंड वी आर आस्किंग दैट इफ दिस हैपेंस, सो इट विल एग्जीक्यूट इनवैलिड इनपुट. ये प्रिंट होगा. दिस विल प्रिंट इनवैलिड इनपुट प्रोवाइडेड बाय यूजर. एंड नेक्स्ट लाइन में आएगा कि विच टाइप ऑफ एक्सेप्शन इट इज गेटिंग. ओके. और तुम इसको हटा भी सकते हो. इफ यू डोंट वांट दैट, so you can just remove it. So it will print that thing. It will print invalid input provided by the user. Okay. So just let me see. Just run it. 1 minute. Okay, you can mute, Anas, I think. Yeah. So let me just run it. One more bracket I have here. Yeah. So I was saying 200 and 0. So price is 200, weight is 0. So it will print invalid input provided by user. So this thing. Okay. Because zero division error occurred, and in that case we said that except block handles the exceptions. So it will print this instead of giving an error, or instead of terminating the program, it will be executed, and we are handling it using this. Okay. So now we have few more examples. So there are two example here, file processing examples. So look it carefully. Okay. So we are given a file name, student marks. So one file name we already have, student marks, and this file contains the student data that include roll number, name, and marks. So like you have a student file name is student marks that contains data like this. So it contains roll number 4001, name Nitin Negi, marks 25, and so on. Okay. And So the data about each student is stored in a separate line. So you can see for about each student, data is stored in a separate line, and the individual pieces of information, roll number, name, and marks are separated by commas. Okay, in this way we have data in the file student marks. Now here, next we defined add percent as a percentage of max marks that should be added to the marks obtained to get the moderated marks. Okay, so actually we want to calculate moderated marks and we want to add some percentage of marks to each student. Suppose I want to add 5%. Okay, so I want to add 5% marks to each student. So 75 will be 80, of 98 will not be 103%, right? So we have to uh, limit it to 100, है ना? So we want to add 5% marks to each student subject to less than 100%, right? So 80 will be 85%, 60 will be 65%, 88 will be 93%. Suppose we want to add 5%, then so it is saying we define add percent as a percentage of marks, max marks that should be added to the marks obtained to get the moderated marks subject to the upper limit of maximum marks. Okay, to carry out the moderation, we prompt the user to enter the moderation percentage, add percent. So how much percent you want to add? Okay, how, and produce another file. So you produce another file containing roll number, name, and moderated marks. Okay, so the file name you may say like moderated marks, containing moderated marks of the student. Now we describe this task in the form of the pseudocode. So like open file student marks in read mode while checking for any error. So you first what you'll do, you will open file, original file student marks in read mode while checking for any error. Open the file moderated marks in write mode because you want to create that file. Okay, so in write mode while checking for any error, and read one line of input from a student marks. So each line you will read from the original file student marks, and then you will run this while loop, you will apply. So while line is not equal to empty string, or like you know, so you read all the lines actually. So until you read all the lines, retrieve the value of roll number, name, and marks from the line 1 while checking for any errors. Compute moderated marks. So first you take the information from the file student marks, then you compute moderated marks and write one line of output in the moderated marks. So corresponding to each line, you write each line by updating the marks. Then again read one line input from a student mark. So next line you will read, and you will be keep doing that, until all lines are paid. Then complete. So this is a program you can see here. So program is here. So before reaching program, it is saying that the complete script given below. When we execute the following program and enter 3 as value of add percent. So you want to add 3% to each student marks. So you want to add 3% into each student marks. Then the system output the content file like this. So moderated marks file will be like this: roll number, name, marks. So it was earlier it was 75. You check. Now it is 78. So now it is 100, and earlier it was 98. So you will add 3, so it will be 101. But you have to restrict the marks to 100% only. So here it will be 100, and so on. Okay, the program is here, so we can understand the program. You can execute it at home. So we are late actually, we have to start next chapter also today. Just I will make you understand, then you can run the program. So import sys and def. So this is a function we are defining: compute moderate marks. Okay, file 1, file 2, these are two files. Oh, 1 minute. So yes, so we have one file, a student marks. Okay, that we have already. File 2 will generate, and that will be moderated marks, the file name. And add percent is the percentage mark we want to add to the marks of each student. Try. So f in, so like we were writing f is equal to open file in read mode. So instead of f, f1 you can write, we can write f1 this. So f1 is open file 1 in read mode, because file 1 already exists. Already we have in file 1 we have roll number, name, and marks. F out, so you may write f2 here. F2 is open file 2 in write mode because file 2 we want to create. Then if something wrong happens, if some exception is raised or file 1 is not found, like that, so in case of exception will be raised and exception is raised, then it will print problem in opening the file. Okay, sys.exit, so it will program will be exit here. Then line 1 is f dot in, but the f in means f1, I will say f1. So f1 dot read line. So what is meaning of read line? Anyone tell me? Read line do what? What is the work of read line? Anyone?
So one line at a time.
Yes, it will read one line at a time from file 1. The F1 I'm telling. So F1 here is file 1. So it will read each line from file 1. Okay. And while line 1 is not empty string, like if all lines are read until, then S list is line 1 dot split and delimiter is comma. So line 1 will be splitted based on comma. So why comma? Because you can see here roll number, name and marks. So it will split. So S list will be a list containing roll number, name and marks, you know, because we are splitting over comma. Then try roll number is the in the list S list, the first entry, that is at index 0. So at index 0 you will have roll number, at index 1 you will have name, at index 2 we will have marks. Okay, because when you convert into list, so index 0 roll number, index 1 name, index 2 marks. Okay, except index error, if something wrong happens here, so it will print undefined index and sys.exit. Okay, so execution will be stopped here. Next, except value error, if value error occurs, it will print like unsuccessful conversion to int. So like in this case, we are converting the roll number into int. So if error occurs, then it will write this. Okay, you know the pattern of the exam. So midsem exam will be fully MCQ. Like in the exam, all questions will be MCQ, and all question will have four options. You have to select one option. So you will not have subjective exam or something else. Like exam will be fully MCQ. So suppose it has 100 questions in exam. So all 100 questions will be MCQ. All question will have four mark, four options. You have to select one. Okay. So in your midsem exam telling. Okay. So now max marks is 100. Okay, and moderated marks is, so we are now calculating moderated marks. So this is marks plus add percent into max marks into upon 100. So like what we are doing, marks, original marks, you will add percent. How many percent you want to add? Like 3% you want to add. So 3 into 100 upon 100. So max marks is 100. 3 into 100 upon 100, adding 3 marks, 2 marks. So marks plus 3, like for this case, we said we will enter 3 marks, 3%. So you just add 3. Then if moderated marks is more than 100, you restrict it to 100. Okay, and f out, so f out were f2, this f out and f2. So f2 is f2 dot write. Of inside file 2 you are writing roll number in string form, then comma, name, comma, moderated marks. So here you calculated moderated marks. So moderate marks, and you are adding, you are writing into the file 2 in string form. Then again line 1 is f in was f1. So I was saying f1. Okay. File 1. So in f1 you will read again next line, it will continue. Okay, then close the both file, and now the main part is, so you may remove this line. The location of the file where you save, you can write. So file 1 you give the name of the file 1, you give name of the file 2, then add percent, how many percent you want to add, and then we are calling the function we defined. So this was the function we defined here, this. So we are calling the function, and then you can run it. So it will give you updated. So it will generate a new file, and that will, a new file will be the file name you will give, like file 2. So whatever name you will enter, With that name, new file will be generated containing updated marks. Okay, you can run it. Similarly, we have one more question. So it's the last question in the PPT, and this conclusion is just revision. Conclusion is just summary. So you can read. Conclusion is summary. So this is the last program in the this. So here is what again it is saying, like you have one file containing employee monthly that contains. So let's start from here. Yeah. So next program, what we are doing, we wish to compute monthly wages to be paid to employee in an organization, and the input data has been provided to us in two files, name employee master, okay, and then employee monthly. So there are two files you already have, employee master and employee monthly. So the first file employee master contain permanent data about employee, also called master data, that include employee ID, employee name, and hourly wages. Okay, so it contains employee ID, employee name, and hourly wages. So like here you can see employee ID 1001, name Vinay Kumar, and hourly wages per hour wages 30. Okay, again similar, employee ID name hourly wages, employee ID name hourly wages, employee ID name hourly wages. This is one file. Second file contains the name of the file is employee monthly, and it contains monthly information, often called transaction data about employee. It has stored the two pieces of information about each employee, namely employee ID and number of hour worked. So this is employee ID and this is number of hour worked. Okay, so one file contains this ID name hourly wages. Second file contains ID and number of hour worked. The pseudo code is given below. So now you want to generate a third file that will contain total wage. So for example, Vinay है ना has worked 30, अच्छा Vinay has monthly, sorry, hourly wage 30 rupees suppose. So and he worked for 245 hours in that month. So you will generate a file that will contain like employee ID of Vinay, name, and or directly you can ID and the monthly wage. So 245 into 30. Na? So that should be there. Number of hours into hourly wages. So that will produce new file containing total wages, total monthly wages. So this is saying pseudocode is here. Okay. So like you are saying open first file and second file, both file in read mode while checking for any errors. Open file, so this is third file you want to create monthly wages. In write mode while checking for any errors, read one line of input from employee master first file. Okay, and then you will run while loop there. Okay, so if line 1 is not equal to empty string, then retrieve value of employee ID hourly wages from line 1 while checking for any errors. So like you will take employee ID and hourly wages, then read one line input from employee monthly. From next file you will again read one line and then retrieve the value of employee. So name is a temp ID, so employee ID the variable, and hourly worked, so number of hours worked from the line 2 while checking for any error. So one line from this file you will read. Here you will take employee ID and hourly wage. From this file you will take employee ID and number of hour worked. Okay, and then so first you have to match the employee ID. If same person, then multiply number of hours into hourly wage, and then it generate it into the third. So write the first line into the third, employee ID and monthly wage. Same is telling here. So check the employee ID in emp master and temp ID in the employee monthly. So in two both the files employee ID are same, match. Okay, so match the employee ID in both the files, first and second, and then compute monthly wages and write one line of output file in third file is monthly wages. Then read one line of input from, then again you read and continue process until all lines are executed. Then output will be like that. So the complete script given below. So program is here. So on the execution of the following program, the system creates an output file monthly wages with the following content. So employee ID and total monthly wage. Okay. So it is, I think, 30 into 245. Okay, like this. Here it was 0, so 0, and for our wages 35, so 35 is 0, 35. So it will generate like that. Okay, similarly here for the last employee, so 240 hours it worked in a month, and for our salary is 35, so 35 into 240, so it will generate like this. Okay, this is a program you can read. So, okay, let me just read it. You will finish here, then this is a just revision. So import sys and get. So the file name, sorry, the function name we are defining is generate salary. File 1, file 2 are input files we already have. File 3 we want to generate, create. Try. Again here we write f1, f2, f3. So instead of we have named f master, f trans and f wages. So I will read it at f1, it f2 and it has f3. So f1 is open file 1 in read mode because file 1 already exists. Open file 2 in read mode and open file 3 in write mode. Write one we want to create, that's why. So in case a file 1, file 2 does not exist, it will create an exception, this IO error, and then we will handle it by printing this problem with opening the file, and program will exit here. Then now if an error exception is not raised, in that case f1 dot read line. So in file 1 you will read line 1, then you will continue while loop we are running over line. Okay, so while loop will create a list of line, sorry, we'll create a list. So line 1 dot split. So first line of what, f1, first line of f1 over file 1. So in file 1 first line is this is the first line. Oh, okay, yeah, this is the first line, and so it will create a list. Okay, so list will contain like employee ID, name, and hourly wage, because we are splitting over comma. Then try employee ID. So this is the first index will be employee ID, and the, sorry, zeroth index, okay, or the first element in the list. So zeroth index will be employee ID, and first index will be name. So we are not taking that, we are just taking second index. Second index is hourly wages. Okay, then if we are converting that element of the list into int. Okay, here also both are integer, employee ID and hourly wages. So if some exception is raised, it will print undefined index. If value error or type error is raised, it will print unsuccessful conversion to int. Okay. Then line 2. So line 2 is F2. F trans was actually F2 here. So you can check. So F2. Okay. So we are opening file 2 in read mode. So F2 dot read line. So line 2 actually will read first line of file 2. Then we are again converting into list. So that list contain, so file 2 will have only ID and number of hour worked. Okay, two element, each line has two elements. So list you will convert into list of first line over comma. So it will create list of two element, index 0, index 1. Index 0 is ID, index 1 is number of hour worked. So here we are. Okay, so we'll split all this, and then again try employee ID we are taking. So first in index 0, at index 0 we have employee ID, at index 1 we have hours, number of hours worked. Then if it converts into, it worked fine. If something error happens, then it will, if index error happens, then it will print undefined index, value error or type error occurs, then it will print like unsuccessful conversion to int. Okay, if both ID are matched, so you will first match the ID because both file have common ID, so you will match the ID. So like Binay has ID is 1001, here ID 1001, so you will match first ID, and after matching the ID, so here, so you match ID in the both the file are same. Then f wages, so f wages was actually third, f3. Okay, here it is f3. So f3 dot write. So inside file 3 we are writing string form of employee id plus comma. Okay, so string we are adding, so comma plus string of hourly wages into hour worked. So hourly wages and hour worked we have converted into int there, and now we'll multiply. So per hour wage into number of hour worked, so it will create total monthly wages. Okay, then you will continue the process. Okay, so like line 1 is f master dot read line, so next line we read and it will work until and all lines are read, and then f1 dot close, f2 dot close, f3 dot close, then main part is this. So file 1, file 2, file 3, you will give file name as input, and we are calling the function we define. Okay, so this part you can execute, so it will give it out. So just you have to understand. Now in conclusion, this part is actually just a summary of the chapter. Okay, so this was just a division. So like we have spent 1 hour almost, but this was I think this was nothing new. You have already done. Okay, now we have this assignment. So assignment you can try because deadline is 15. So by 15 you have to submit handwritten, scanned copy. I have already shared the Google form link to you. So you must have get, I hope, no, you got it. Then you have to upload assignment 9 and okay, 1 2 3 you have done, 5 6 7 you have done. So 8 9, 8 was recursion, 9 is files and exceptions. Okay, so 8 and 9 you have to do. By the way, 10 chapter is very easy, so we can finish it by today or tomorrow. It is very easy and very short chapter. 10 chapter is class 1. Just raise introduction and then constructor, destructor, and then importing class and one file there. So this is easy chapter. So first let us discuss assignment, and assignment 9, right? So see the question from last, like if I see, so 15, 14, 13, okay, these all are just you run it and a copy paste, you will see the output. Okay, you just do it. So 10, 9, no, 8, even 7, these all programs are given, just they are asking the output, so you just copy paste and try to run it. So main part is 1 to 6, but in your midsem or endsem I think they will not ask you subjective, but for the knowledge you have to do. Okay, in exam they will ask MCQ, but you should have the knowledge of all this. So what is saying, first is write a function that takes two file names, file 1 file 2 as inputs, and the function should read the content from file 1 line by line, and should write them into another file 2, after adding a new line at the end of each line. So you have to transfer the content of file 1 into file 2. Okay, so what you will do, anyone can explain orally? So file 1 we will already have, right? So we'll open file 1 in read mode, we'll read each line of file 1, and then we'll write it into file 2, and file 2 we have to create. So I will show you the program. Okay, so let me start. So this is chapter 9, right? So first program if I run, so check here, you can see, so we're defining a function 1, and inputs are file 1 file 2, input parameters, the parameters are, argument parameters are this, file 1 file 2 in the function 1. F1 open file 1 in read mode, because we have to transfer the content of file 1 into file 2, and F2 open file 2 in write mode, file 2 we want to create. Line f1 dot read line, so f1 dot read line will do what, it will read each line of the line by line, one line, it will read one line of the file 1, first line. Then while line 1 is not empty string, not empty, then what do you do, f2 dot write, so dot write will write. Okay, f2 dot write line plus new line. So you are writing the first line of the file 1 into the file 2. Okay, and then you are next thing will be added new line. So they have said you add next line into next line, and then again it will continue. So line is f1 dot read line, so this will read next line of the file 1. It will continue until it occurs an empty line occurs empty. Then we are opening file 2 in read mode. Yes, file 2 in read mode, because file 2 we have created here. File 2 will be created here. We are opening file 2 in read mode. Print f1 dot read, so we are reading content of f1 dot read, file 1, and then we are printing content of f2 dot read, so content of file 2, and f1 close. So you have to close, right? Closing is important because closing will save and it will close also. So both work of dot closes, it will close and save both simultaneously. And now this is a user defined function here, and now we are file 1 we are asking from user name of the file, file 2 we are asking from user, and then calling the function. So first let me check there is file 1 or not. So here my code is saved here. Okay, so here, so check, I have file 1 I have named here file 1 already here. So what content you want? So अभी क्या है इसमें, ये मैंने लिखा है I'm संतोष. Okay, so like I'm writing more line like I'm good. Okay, suppose, so I've written 3 line in the file 1. Okay, so let me just save it. Save. So file 1 contains, okay, file 2 is already there, but it doesn't matter. In write mode it overwrite it, so it will generate, it will overwrite it. So whatever present in file 2 will be deleted and new thing will be created according to the program. So file 1 we need because we are writing program in matlab we have opened the file 1 in read mode. So if file 1 is not found, it will create error, it will raise exception. So that's why we made sure file 1 we have. So just I'm running the program. So I will run it. What will happen? All the data from content from file 1 will be transferred to file 2, and we are reading both. So just check what is happening. So they're asking name of the file 1. So I have also named it file 1 file 2 only. Okay, so I will name the same. You can name something else, according to you, you can name something. So I named it file 1 file 2 only. So file 1, name of the file 2 you want to generate. So like file 2, or you want something else, so like file 1 copy. So whatever you want, file 2 you can write, or you can whatever name you want, you are free to write here name. So that file will be generated there. Okay, so file 2, suppose I write enter. Okay, so it is printing I'm Santosh, I'm good, how are you? So that was the content in the file. And check, let me check the file 2. So you will see in file 2 there must be same content like file 1. So check, file 2 has this content. Okay, suppose I delete the content. Okay, now I will save. So now currently I don't have anything in file 2. I deleted it, nothing. And after running the program you will see it will contain. Okay, so you all know how it is working. So if I run it again, so they will ask file 1, file 1, file 2, then this is the content. Okay, and now if I check, so file 2 must be containing all the content. So we deleted all the content from file 2, but now it will be containing that. Okay, this is file here, we can do that. Okay, so that was a question 1. Question 2 is write the function that reads a file 1, and displays the number of words and number of vowels in the file. So number of words means, so words will be separated by space, right? So if it occurs a space, you just increase count by 1. And number of vowels, so you just first define the vowels, so you have to tell them what is vowel. So a, e, I, o, u. And if it occurs, you will read each character of the string, and then if vowel encounters, you increase count by 1, and in that way it will do. So just see the program. So second, if I'm opening, so check here. Def function 2 we have defined. File 1 is a parameter. Then F1 is open file 1 in read mode because file 1 already exists. So we are opening in read mode. Data F1 dot read. So dot read will read entire content. Okay. Read a line will read only one line. Okay. So dot read will read entire content of the file 1. Initially word is 0 and vowels are 0. Now count, you can write count 1, count 2 if you want. Yes. Anything doubt? Who muted? Unmuted. Himanshu. So mute. Yeah. Okay. So this is fine, na? So we are reading.
सर
Yes, yes.
सर फर्स्ट वाला थोड़ा दिखाइएगा तो प्रोग्राम
फर्स्ट वाले में
सर यहाँ पे F1 डॉट रीड और F2 डॉट रीड दोनों है तो सर एक ही क्यों आ रहा था
सेम. अच्छा, you are asking why it is not printing twice.
यस सर
Okay, so चलो एक हटा कर देखते हैं. It is printing once only. I have also noticed it is printing once only. Okay, so it is not entering anything means it is because here we have opened only file 2, right?
प्रीवियसली तो हमने F1 भी तो ओपन किया था
हाँ, बट आई थिंक मुझे लगता है यहाँ पे हमने रीड लाइंस किया. अच्छा, एक लाइन और ऐड कर दो तो देखते हैं. सो यहाँ पे अच्छा, अभी इसको हटा के देखता हूँ. ओके, सो एक्चुअली हमें फिर से इसको वो करना पड़ेगा, यहाँ पे लिखना पड़ेगा. तो लेट मी जस्ट राइट इट. F1 इज इक्वल टू, ठीक है, सेम थिंग. Okay, so now it is fine. So check, it is printing twice. So I think you have to write it, है ना. यहाँ पे हमने दोनों को ओपन कर, वहाँ पहले हमने एक ही लिखा था इसलिए ऐसा हो रहा था.
पर सर F1 तो ओपन है ना पहले से
हाँ, F1 यहाँ ओपन किया था रीड मोड में, है ना. एंड F2 राइट मोड में ओपन हुआ था. देन वी वर रीडिंग ईच लाइन ऑफ F1 एंड व्हाइल दिस F1 डॉट रीड लाइन. हाँ, बट यहाँ दोबारा ना एक बार ओपन करने से नहीं हो रहा है. सो समथिंग इज रॉन्ग है, राइट. सो यू हैव टू ओपन अगेन आई थिंक. तब इसको यहाँ रीड करें ना. सो F1 F2 टू रीड कंटेंट यू हैव टू ओपन अगेन मे बी, या कुछ प्रॉब्लम होगा.
सर ऐसा होता तो वाइल लूप में हमेशा ओपन करना पड़ता ना
नहीं, क्योंकि यहाँ पे हम लोग क्या कर रहे हैं, एफ डॉट राइट, है ना. सो फर्स्ट लाइन में रीड किया, देन उसको राइट किया, फिर यहाँ से नेक्स्ट लाइन रीड किया है ना. सो ईच टाइम वी आर रीडिंग नेक्स्ट लाइन एंड गेटिंग दैट. हाँ, मतलब तुम्हारा पॉइंट भी ठीक है, इसको दोबारा ओपन क्यों करना पड़ रहा है ना, वाई वी आर ओपनिंग अगेन. तो फाइल 2 ओपन करना समझ आता है बिकॉज, है ना, वी हैव ओपनड इट इन राइट मोड देयर. सो नाउ वी आर ओपनिंग इन रीड मोड फाइल 2. एक्चुअली यहाँ मुझे ऐसा लग रहा है कि प्रिंट तो करना चाहिए था. सो चेक इट. printing once only. So when we are not opening file 1 in read mode, it is not printing. मे बी बिकॉज क्या मतलब ईच लाइन रीड किया है, तो तुम्हें लगता है कि लाइक ऐसा होगा कि कुछ अगर अपडेट हुआ हो फाइल 1, देन यू हैव टू रीड अगेन, सो मे बी ड्यू टू दैट।
सर वो शायद हो सकता है कि लास्ट में पहुंच गया उसका पॉइंटर, इसीलिए नहीं हो, फिर से ओपन करना पड़ रहा है।
क्योंकि रीड लाइंस ना, मतलब ईच लाइन रीड कर रहे हैं, तो हो सकता है कि यही तो वहाँ से स्टार्ट होके हाँ ये लास्ट तक गया है, तो उसको फिर आगे कोई कंटेंट नहीं मिल रहा है, राइट। सो इफ़ यू अगेन रीड इट, तो इट विल स्टार्ट फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग, है ना, क्योंकि आफ्टर दिस प्रोग्राम सेम आई थिंक वही बात है ना। सो व्हेन वी वर रीडिंग फाइल 1, सो वो लास्ट तक रीड कर चुका है, सो देन आफ्टर दैट दे आर फाइंडिंग नथिंग, सो इसलिए वो प्रिंट नहीं कर रहा है इसके लिए, है ना। तो इसको रीड दोबारा करने के लिए तुम्हें दोबारा ओपन करना पड़ेगा रीड मोड में। सो दे विल रीड फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग, सेम ही वही होगा। बाकी इसकी ज़रूरत नहीं था, हमारा तो मेन पर्पस था कि फाइल 2 में डेटा को ट्रांसफ़र करना था, कंटेंट को लिखना था। ओके, ठीक है। ओके, बाकी ये भी ऐसे ही है ना। तो दीज आर इजी प्रोग्राम्स, जस्ट वही चीज़ें तुम जो पहले करते थे वो फाइल में कर रहे हो, जस्ट ओपन करके यहाँ डू द सेम थिंग। सो ईच कैरेक्टर यू आर फाइंडिंग, है ना, फ्रॉम फाइल 1 यू आर चेकिंग ईच कैरेक्टर इन डेटा, इफ कैरेक्टर इज न्यू लाइन मतलब स्पेस और न्यू लाइन, देन काउंट द वर्ड बाई 1, or if character encounters vowel, so a e i o u, a e i o u, then you increase vowel by 1, then print the vowel and this, close the file, then है ना we are giving name of the file, then so if I run it, so same file रखते हैं, फाइल 1 हमारे पास ऑलरेडी है, so उसी फाइल 1 में अगर काम करो तो फाइल 1 ही लिखते हैं, फाइल 1 एंटर। ओके, तो सेइंग नंबर ऑफ वोवेल इज 11, सो चेक कर लो यहाँ पे, है ना, यही तो फाइल 1 में कंटेंट है ना, सो चेक इट इज गिविंग करेक्ट। सो नंबर ऑफ वर्ड इज 11 एंड नंबर ऑफ वोवेल इज 13। सो ये इसको भी एक वर्ड लेके चल रहा है। सो एक मिनट, हमने ना स्पेस स्टार्टिंग में तो नहीं है, तो यू हैव टू रिमूव द स्पेस फ्रॉम द बिगिनिंग एंड एंड, है ना, तो वरना वो ज़्यादा देगा। तो वी हैड द कमांड फॉर दैट, सो वी कैन रिमूव दैट। ठीक है, सो आंसर शुड बी व्हाट, सो समथिंग हैज टू इम्प्रूव। बट कोड इज फाइन, राइट, यू कैन इम्प्रूव, मतलब लॉजिक वही है, बस तुम्हें थोड़ा सा इम्प्रूव करना पड़ेगा इफ समथिंग रॉन्ग हैपेंस। एंड वोवेल्स कितने यू कैन काउंट और मैच कर सकते हो ना कि इट इज गिविंग करेक्ट आउटपुट और नॉट। देखो ये सही दे रहा है अब, ठीक है ना, पहले 11 और 13 था, तो उसको हमने वो स्पेस आई थिंक था एक, तो उसको हटाया, अब ठीक है। 10 है, तो लाइक 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10, इसको भी एक काउंट कर रहा है वो, ठीक है ना, तो इसको हटा देंगे तो फिर वो सही आएगा ना, फिर 1। तो इन दिस वे यू कैन राइट, ओके। बाकी अपने नीड के हिसाब से यू कैन इम्प्रूव। सो बाकी क्वेश्चन ऐसे ट्राई करना, ऐसे ही है। थर्ड क्या है, राइट अ फंक्शन दैट टेक्स द डेटा टू बी स्टोर्ड इन अ फाइल 1 एज interactive input from the user until he responds with a nothing as input. So each line taken as input from the user should be capitalized and stored in the file. तो सेम ही है, ठीक है ना, फर्स्ट सेकेंड तुमने देखा है वैसे ही है. फाइल को रीड मोड में ओपन करो, जो भी करना है करो, बाद में फाइल को क्लोज कर दो एंड देन इट विल वर्क. सो सिमिलर ही है, मतलब कुछ ऐसे बहुत अलग नहीं है. सो इस तरह प्रोग्राम्स हमने पहले लिखे हैं बट वो फाइल में नहीं लिखे हैं ना, ऐसे जनरली यू आर राइटिंग इट. सो इसको ट्राई करना, खुद भी तो कुछ करोगे. ओके, तो अभी क्या करते हैं, नेक्स्ट स्टार्ट नेक्स्ट चैप्टर. बाकी तो रन करने वाला, इसको कॉपी पेस्ट करके रन कर लेना. So now let us start this chapter. Okay, class 1. So next chapter है chapter 10 बुक में है जो हम फॉलो कर रहे हैं. Okay. Okay, so let's start. So this chapter has mainly 4-5 things like what is class है ना, then class and objects, constructor destructor, class as abstract data type, then date class. So date class, actually this is a class we have generated on dates, so and that will be used later on. So this is important class. So check here, what is that? So class is a template that provide logical grouping, okay, grouping of data and methods that operate on them. So class, you few class you already know, like string. Class is a type, okay, you know the type of object. Type is also a class. So type and class, they are same thing almost. So class you will create, or there are some built-in class like a string, int, these are also class. So in object oriented programming we define or create objects. Okay, so in class actually we will create objects, instances of class. Object used are derived using classes. Okay, so the object you will use will be derived using classes, and related code and data are packaged together using classes. So these are information, just read it and we'll see the program. So we can have user defined classes and there are inbuilt classes also. Okay, so we can have the user defined classes or inbuilt classes also. Data and attributes. So what is meaning of attributes? Anyone tell? What is meaning of attributes in sense of class? Do you know?
properties
Attribute मतलब
properties
प्रॉपर्टीज नहीं, यहाँ एट्रीब्यूट का मतलब वेरिएबल होगा. तो जो पहले जिसको हम वेरिएबल बोलते थे ना, सो दैट विल बी एट्रीब्यूट्स है. एंड मेथड्स यहाँ जहाँ लिखा होगा, सो दैट विल मीन अ फंक्शन. तो जैसे हम जिसको फंक्शन बोलते थे ना, तो इन केस ऑफ क्लास वी यूजुअली से मेथड्स. सो एट्रीब्यूट्स एंड मेथड्स, ये वर्ड काफ़ी यूज होगा. सो एट्रीब्यूट्स एंड मेथड्स वेरिएबल एंड फंक्शन. ओके, एट्रीब्यूट्स एंड मेथड्स ऑफ क्लास, सो मीन्स वेरिएबल्स एंड फंक्शंस ऑफ क्लास, वो यूज होगा यहाँ पे. So data and attributes with a class are collectively known as class attributes. So class attributes mainly variables of class. Or we can assign instances to object of a class. Okay, so we'll see that. We just read कर लो क्या क्या लिखा है. We have various inbuilt class in Python like string, int, float, etc. Okay. So type is also a class, as I said. You find type of object, so that is class of object actually. So like Raman in quote है ना, single quote, or in single quote CBS is written. So that are instances of class string. Okay, so these are instances of class string that are assigned to the variable name and board. Okay, so name is a variable. So in Raman is a name. Okay, CBS is a board. They are saying, so that are instances of a class string. So both are a string actually. Various methods of class can act on objects of class. Okay, so method lower. So method I said already. So here you write method. Method means function. Okay, so don't be confused by that. So method means function. So like lower, you already have seen this word lower, है ना. So lower actually, है ना, if you write a string dot lower, so that will convert the uppercase into lowercase. So method lower can be used on objects to return all the lowercase letter of string. Okay, so lower is a function, you already know. methods are invoked by the object name followed by dot and the attribute name. Okay, so functions are invoked or methods are invoked by object name. So object will create there. Okay, so like object, suppose a person or something, p1 dot name, we can say name is a variable, and suppose we create person one as the object, so person one dot name, person one dot address, person one dot date of birth, like that. And as a class will have object and attributes, so attributes and variable. So also we can invoke class methods. So last time I'm reading, so also we can invoke class methods by class name followed by dot operator. Okay, so class name, so suppose class name is like my date, so my date dot operator dot method name, the function name you can call, and the object name passed an argument for the method. So these are the theories, implementation you can see here. So, so check here, syntax of defining class. So how will you define class? Like earlier you were defining functions and a def function. So here we'll define class. So as you will write this class, this is a keyword. Okay, you have to write class only, and it is a class name. So it depends on you, है ना? What class you want to define. So this is a syntax for user defined class. And class name, usually the convention is we take a class with capital letter, name with first letter capital. So usually, or the convention is like when we define a class, so name of class we take first letter capital, you know, whatever, like person. If I define class person, so you have a capital P. If I define class like my date, you know, so like that something and something. Okay, and here is the class body. So for example, one program is here. You just see it. So class is a keyword, person, you can name something else also. So name of the class, here we are defining person, count is initiated with 0. Okay, and here def double underscore init double underscore. So this is just initiator of the class. So this is actually we'll see, this is called constructor. Okay, this the name of this function is constructor. So it actually create object in a class. So constructor will create object. So here you can see def double underscore init double underscore. So this double underscore you have already seen when we were calling def main, and at the end we were writing if double underscore name double underscore double equal to double underscore main. So this double underscore is used with the special functions, so this is used for special functions. So here you see like as it is. So def, this is the constructor of a class. Self is object. So here you will write this is object, and these are the variables in the class. So def double underscore this will do what? This will create an object self in the class person with variables name, date of birth, and address. And then object dot variable, okay, is equal to this theory over here, you can relate it if you read it again. So method are invoked by object name followed by dot and the attribute name. Okay, so object name here is self, dot, and the attribute name variable. Okay, so we are creating class person, object is self, name, date of birth, address are variables. So self dot name is name, self dot date of birth is date of birth, self dot address is address, count person dot count, this person is the class name. Okay, so person dot count plus equal to 1. So each time if you increase the object, the count will be increased by 1. Okay, so this is called constructor of the double underscore init. This is called constructor of the class. This will come later on in detail. Now we are defining a few functions. Def get name self. So self is an object, so you want to get name of the object, so we are returning self dot name. Okay, self dot name. So self is object, name is variable. Def get dob of self. then return self dot date of birth. These are the function we are defining. Okay, def get address dot self return self dot address, and def set name. So set name will be used actually to improve or update the name, है ना? So that will use this function. So we are defining the function set name self comma name. So self again is object and name is the variable. So if you want to update the name, you will use this function. So self dot name is name. So what name you want to take, है ना? In object self, the name whatever you want you can write here, है ना? What name you want. And def set date of birth self date of birth, and then self dot date of birth is date of birth, this function. Again we are defining def set address self comma address, and self dot address is address, def get count self. So here again we want to update the address, we can update using this function, and def get count self. So get count self, self is object, so def get count, it will return person dot count. So how many uh, objects are in the class Python, it will return that. In the class person, it will return that person dot count. So I will show you this program. And def double underscore str double underscore, this function will actually return output as a string. Self is object, so this, and will return name as a string form, then self dot name, whatever you have given the name of the, है ना, name in the object self. Then colon will be printed string self dot date of birth plus colon self dot address. So it will print like this. So let me just show you this program. Here, this one, right? Yes, you can see this. So same program written here, okay? And same program is here. Class person count initialized by 0, def init self. So this is initialize the object self, okay? So this is constructor of the object in class. Name, date of birth, address are variable. You can add more variable if you want, okay? Self dot name is name, self dot date of birth, self dot address is address, and person dot count. So here it will be capital P. Acha, I have actually taken a small p as person, that's why. Here we have to take capital P. Just better program here. Yes, so this you can see. Class person, this, okay? And def get name self. So it will return self dot name. These functions we define, okay? And now this will convert output in string form. This will print, so this we write to print this output. This will print, for example, check here. Person 1 I defined Santosh, date of birth and address. So here the parameters were self was object, so this self here is p1, self here is p1, and name is here, okay, and date of birth is here, and this address is here. So there are three variables, three parameters in one object, okay? Object itself is the object here, so that we have p1. Now we are printing p1. So if I run it, you can check it is printing this one, name, then self dot name we have given Santosh, date of birth in next line it will print date of birth, then address it will print address, okay, like this. And suppose you want to get something more, so print, if I write p1 dot name, okay, so check here p1 dot name will print name in the object p1. So p1 is object, it will print name. Okay, suppose you want print p1 dot address, so it will print address here. Okay, so like address, sorry, I have written spelling mistake. Yes, like Bhubaneswar. Okay, this way you can do, and you can print also date of birth. So like print p1 dot dob. Yes, so this way you can do. Okay, and same program I have here. I have given, okay, you want to count, so let's just check me here. If I write print person dot count, it is 1. Okay, so we have defined just one object. And same thing if I do here. So here you check, here I have 2 person. Okay, so if I print so object name is person dot count, so it will return how many object has been created in the class person. तो यहाँ पे स्मॉल कर दे सकते हैं. Yes, here you can check. So print person dot count, so count is 2 because we have defined 2 object here. Okay, but the problem is, suppose if I write here p3 is equal to p2. So what will happen now if I run the program? So what do you think? Will it give same output or something different? So anyone tell me, if I run I have done p3 is equal to p2. So print dot count, sorry, person dot count will give the same in output or something different, it will give different. So print id of p2. Okay, yes, so just let me ask. So who is next? Anas was present, right? Anas Murad. Sangram. Sanjeevani. This is attendance also, again I'm saying.
Yes, sir.
So what is the output of this? If I run,
Yes,
you check the program. This is class is person. This is the constructor of the object with this variable, and these are the function we define here. So I have given here p1 p2 as 2 object of the class. Okay, p3 is equal to p2. So when this is not available, if I run it, it will print 2. So this will print 2 actually. I'm asking about this person dot count. So if I write p3 is equal to p2, so what do you expect the output? I mean 2 or 3. So I'm asked person dot count. So person dot count will print actually number of persons, number of objects created. So what do you expect the
so
output?
3.
Why 3? So it will depend whether p2 and p3 have different address, different IDs or same IDs. So okay, let me just run it.
Sure.
So check here. So P2 and P3 have same ID. So it will not count
Same
it
ID.
different. So it will count it same.
It's
P3 and P2 are same actually. Okay, that's why we have only two persons. Okay, fine. So let me back to the PPT. And this was the program, just I run it. You can visualize it using on Python tutor. So if you want, I can also do that. So print P1, print P2, and if I write print P3. Okay, so you know how to visualize the program, you can see line by line execution on Python tutor. So these are the functions we define inside class person. Okay, these are the functions. So first object was this. Okay, self was P1, and then with this name, date of birth, and this. So person instance. So variable. This was P1. Okay, P1 will have this. So P1 is object with these variables. And next is getting created here. So it is P2. And P3 will have same name, same address, same date of birth. And IDs. So P1, P2 have same ID. So you can also visualize it, okay? Okay, so actually you have to write this program because later on we'll import this part. So this thing is getting printed here, okay? So this was the PPT, this page is getting. Okay. So next word comes constructor. So before that, I would say all of you please write this code, and so that if later on I will use it, so you can also, because like one class can be imported as a module into the other program. So if I import this, then before that you have to use this. So you just everyone write this program and check whether it's working or not. So you just check it. I mean, working for you or not. So visible a program. Uh, So यहाँ से लिखना start करो, just start writing. Everyone start writing, and you write first this, then I will show next part. Okay. Yeah. So everyone please start writing this code. I will ask your name, then you have to share a screen. हाँ भैया।
हाँ संतोष जी, वो आपके वो जो त्रिभुवन सर को दे रहे थे तो मैं उसने कहा आप गए या नहीं इसलिए फोन किया।
मैं रूम पे हूँ, यहीं पे रूम पे हूँ।
रूम हाँ मैं नीचे हूँ तो ठीक है।
तो अब वो तो ऊपर रख दीजिए, वहीं रख दीजिए, क्योंकि मैं क्लास ले रहा हूँ, 3 बजे तक क्लास है मेरा ऑनलाइन।
ठीक है चलिए कोई बात नहीं।
क्या ऊपर आएंगे आप?
हाँ हाँ चल लेंगे कोई बात
हाँ आ जाइए, क्योंकि मैं क्लास ले रहा हूँ।
नहीं। चलिए ठीक।
ओपन करता हूँ। Okay, are you writing? Those who have done, you can write in chat so that I can share. And see it is working for you or not. Okay. So main thing is you will understand after writing. Understand better. and just save this program. You write it and save it because this will be used later on. I'm telling you. So name of the class is person. Okay.
So can you scroll down?
Just two lines there. Yeah. Print P1, print P2.
Okay, sir.
Acha, okay, you want to update the name, so how can do? So see in the program, if I show here, suppose I want to update the name. So currently we have this, and print P1, P2 is fine. Okay, if I write mm, person dot name, which person? So P1, right? So suppose P1 name I want to change. P1 dot name is equal to, if you make it from Santosh to suppose anything a month, and P2 dot, suppose DOB you want to change, what date you want. So suppose I make it 20 December, anything you can write. No, suppose 2002. So just print it. See it's working or not. Yeah. So the first print will print the same name, date of birth, address. First print. Second print, do what? We'll do this print. Now we are p1 dot name I changed to Aman. So now first print will be printing C, name changed to Aman. Okay, the Santosh changed to Aman. And p2 dot date of birth I changed it. So initially the date of birth of p2 was this 12 January, and now 12 January 1996, and now I have written here this. So see, date of birth change 20 December 2002. Now this way you can update, because we have defined here this. So anyone done that, this part, this program you have written, just check it is working or not, and just you can share a screen also to others can see. Sometimes it's easier, like you just see it I'm running, so you will feel very easy. When you write, you might do some mistake, which will be difficult to find sometimes. So when you write, you will learn better. So no one completed? Anyone who have done? I mean, and working? Person? ना टाइम लगेगा.
Done, sir.
Done, sir.
Okay, so you have done. It's working?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay. So those who have not done, let's see here. कहाँ तक हुआ है? Get counts. Just write it and try to understand if something wrong, something you did not get. Okay, so one more class we have. This is important. So constructor I will discuss in next class. Constructor, destructor, and then importing a class data type. This is very small concept. And the last part of this PPT is date class. So date class is what is just defined a class containing date. So I will make you understand this, and then you can write this also. So what is saying? Today and default date are two objects of the class my date. So name of the class is my date. You can check here. So name of the class is my date, and argument passed while invoking constructor may be invalid. Okay, sometimes may be invalid. So method check day. So there is a function check day here. Uh, Method means function. Okay, so this is a function check day. So what it is checking? Self object day. So it is checking whether, I will make you understand this. If it is a leap year, then these are the number of days in months of a year. If it is not leap year, these are the days in the month of a year. Okay, and they are checking whether you enter the number of day correct. So that it is checking. So I will explain each part of program just to see what is written in the PPT. Okay, so method means function. Check day is defined in order to check the arguments whether valid or not. So date, day, number of day in a month, or date valid or not. Print statement of above file return the output in string format. So actually it will return in string format due to this part. So def double underscore string double underscore self is object, and then what we return, actually return this day, month, year. So let me explain it from the beginning. Okay, so try to understand this, and I also have this program, so I can open it. 5 I think. Yes, so try to understand this class. Okay, and this is these two program we will be using in next chapter also. So we'll be importing it as a module, and then we will be using it. That's why I'm telling the class person last program, and this class is my date. So we can import actually class, you know, in other programs also by giving the address or location of the program. So just try to understand this program. So import sys is a module. So class my date we define, we have written name of the class is my date, so we are creating a class. Okay, def this is called constructor double underscore init double underscore, this is constructor or initiator you can say of the object self with this variable. So variables day, month, year. So default values are given already. So like day is 1, day is like date you can say, month January, and year we given default. Now what we are checking? If not, so not means like if this doesn't happen, then invalid data provided user. So what we are checking? We are checking that type of day must be int, so date. Okay, then month must be int, so month means first means January, second means Feb, like that. And type of year is int. Okay, so like 1/1/2000, so 1 means first day of January 2000. So we are checking, we'll ask the user to enter later on. Here we'll ask the user to enter date. So my date is a class, and here is 11 January 2022, like that. Okay, so this they will check whether day is int, month is int, and year is int. So first is this check, है ना? If this happens, that's fine. If not, then it will print invalid data provided for date, and then program will exit here. If month is more than 0 and month is less than 12, less than equal to 12. So you know month is 1 to 12, January, February to December. So 1 to 12. So self dot month is month. Okay, so you only consider month from 1 to 12. Else, if it is not, you will print invalid data for month. Okay, so like if you write month 13, so 13 month is not there. So sys dot exit if year is more than 1900. So actually we are considering year more than 1900 only. You can remove this line also. So we want to consider only year after 1900. That's why we're writing that. So if year is more than 1900, self dot year is year. So self is object, variable is year, so is year. So you can define it. Now else, so if you write, so you write invalid data for year, and year should be greater than 1900. So we are only considering that date. And if this happens, like if you enter less than 1900 or equal to, it will exit the program. Self dot day, self is object, self dot day is self dot check day. So this is a function we defined. So here we are defining the function check day self comma day. So self dot year is like you know already. So if year is multiple of 400 or it is multiple of 4 but not multiple of 100, then it is a leap year. So this is a condition for leap year. So if year is leap year, then January has 31, Feb has 29, March has 31, April has 30, and so on, these many days in month. Else if it is not leap year, then January has 31, Feb has 28, March has 31, and so on, these many days in month. Now we are checking if day is more than 0 and day is less than equal to current year. So current year, this we define list with index self dot month. So this you will enter month -1. So like you enter 5th, so 5, if you enter 5 means like May. So 5 minus 1, fourth index. So you know index will start with 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that is actually May, January, February, March, April, this. So this is indexing. So day must be more than 0 and day less than equal to this. Then return day. So when you enter month, it will check how many days in a month. Else print invalid value for day. Sys.exit. Now this part we write to print output as a string. Okay. So def double underscore string double underscore self. So we want to print the date in this form ddmm YYYY. So that's why. So self dot day is less than equal to 9. Suppose you write 8, 8 January. So you write only 8. So but day will consider 0 plus string form of self dot day, means will print 08. When you enter day as 8, so we'll consider it as 08. Okay, we are converting it as 08. Again else you just convert into a string form. So if it is single digit, then you write 0 before that. Same thing for here. If you month like January, February, March, if you write, so like 3 you enter as month, so we'll consider it as 03. Okay, so that's saying 0 plus string self dot month. Else month is a string form of self dot month. So if single digit, then you write 0 before that. And return, so finally what will return day. So whatever day, like 01 dash 03, and then dash year 1995, like that. Okay, so here main part today, this is object, and my date is a class containing variable day, month, year. Print today, and default date is my date, and you already given a day, month, year in default date. So that will print that. So anyone can tell me the output of this? And I'm taking attendance now, so we are late. So you may write this program also, and if I run it, it will print 11-01-2022 for this print, and for this print it will print for this print it will print 01-01-2000. It was here 01-01-2000. So we'll be using this program again and again in next chapter also. So you may start writing. Till then I'm taking attendance, and if you have doubt, you may ask. So from beginning, I'm telling Alexander, Sahil, Shreya, Anuja, Ujjwal is present. Okay. Anas Murad,
Yes, sir.
Anas present. Okay. Sangram,
Yes, sir.
Present, sir.
Sanjeevani present. Okay. Puspanjali, Anil Kumar, Manish Raj.
Present, sir.
Who is that? Manil or Manish?
Sir, Manish Raj.
Manish. Mayank,
Present, sir.
Shivam,
Yes, sir.
Sahil,
Present, sir.
Rituraj,
Present, sir.
Rohan,
Present, sir.
Harshdeep,
Present, sir.
Rahul,
Yes, sir.
Achal,
Present, sir.
Harsh,
Present, sir.
Rahul, Rahul Chakravarti,
Yes, sir.
Abhijit, Komal,
Yes, sir.
Avipsa,
Present, sir.
Abhishek,
Yes, sir.
Suman,
Present, sir.
Ayush,
Present, sir.
Abhisman, Sharmila,
Present, sir.
Prerna,
Present, sir.
Suwani,
Present, sir.
Neelam,
Present, sir.
Anirban,
Present, sir.
Pranjal, Ruchi,
Present, sir.
Rahul,
Yes, sir.
Pritesh, Elisa, Sachin, Prayag, Ramakant,
Present, sir.
Ramakant. Yes. Yes, Patnaik.
Present, sir.
Aniket, Amlanjati,
Present, sir.
Himanshu,
Present, sir.
Hansraj, Ayaz Beg,
Yes, sir.
Apurv,
Present, sir.
Karina,
Present, sir.
Puskar, Hers,
Yes, sir.
Hers, Ankita,
Yes, sir.
रोहित.
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. सो यू ऑल्सो राइट दिस प्रोग्राम. सो मैं इसको अभी तुम लोग कॉपी पेस्ट कर लो एंड यू प्लीज़ राइट इट. नेक्स्ट क्लास में इसको मैं यूज़ करूँगा. तो इसमें भी कहाँ तक हुआ है? The PPT में है ये. So PPT I have already shared with you. Okay, you can write from there. So PPT I already shared. So I think you must have the PPT of chapter. This chapter. This is chapter number 10. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you have the PPT. So you all please write these two programs from the PPT. Okay. This person, class person, and in the beginning is class person. At the end of the PPT. So in the end you have this class. So this we will be using again. So that's why you should have this, because we will call it as a module. So you have this program to save. So just to save it, both program you write and save it. We'll continue in next class. You submit assignment before 15. Okay, so submit assignment chapter 8 and 9. I think 10 we are doing, so 8 and 9 only you submit. Okay, thank you everyone. So we'll meet in next class.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.